How's everybody doing? I am in a mega hurry, and I thought, well, why not get ready with you? Yes, I hope that you are doing well. I sound like Mr. Rogers. I love Mr. Rogers. Most of you don't know who I'm talking about. And it's a shame, because he was amazing. L'Oreal Age Perfect. He was a TV character. He had his own show, the Mr. Rogers Neighborhood Show. And he basically had a very tender way to reach out to children. And it always makes me wonder why he was the way he was. And I found out he's a very strong Christian and had very strong beliefs about encouraging children from an early age. Not surprising. He's a great guy. And, but his kind of encouraging of children wasn't a norm. I remember one time he explained life and death, and he would do very easy learning things like letters and alphabets, and he did puppetry and all different kind of ways to reach out to kids. And he would make songs for when they had anxiety so that they could learn the song. He'd sing the same song over and over and over so that, because he said, you know, kids need something repeated for them to learn it. And this song was to help them when they got anxious, which I thought was so tender and sweet again. This is the L'Oreal Hydra Genius. And, but anyway, Georgia Public Television was running a special. No. Something public services. Anyway, they were running a special that you could get something from old TV era, and I think that's neat. Let me get my little towel out. Okay, wipe off my hands a little bit. By the way, I saw this in a magazine. It's called Goldia by Bulgari. And y'all, tell me if you've smelled this before. I just smell the little insert and it smells so good. But I bet it's expensive. Usually they put the price on there. Here it is. 2.5 is $114. That's not unusual. 1.7 is $95. It'd be better just go ahead and get the 2.5. Anyway. We are using Chanel. And this is the Perfection Lumiere Velvet in color number 22. I see a hair. Anyway, he would say things like, I see you, and you're important. Things like that, just to deliver the right message to kids. He's just a really good guy. He's gone to heaven. He's not here anymore. And I guess that's what makes his videos even more important, because that's the only way you can hear from him now. And he just really cared about kids, and it just kind of reminded me how important it is that we train kids up in the way they should go. When they're old, they will not depart from it. And we know that sometimes kids do depart from what we teach them. That's not what the Bible's saying. It's not a direct promise, I don't believe. I believe it's an instructiveness to parents of how to parent. And I personally do believe that it is of truth. I believe they will come back to whatever you teach them. And that's why, for me, it's so important to teach them about the Lord, so that even if they fall away when they get college age and realize they run the world and they know everything, and everything you taught them they don't know anymore, I believe they'll come back to it. The truth will not return void, and I just believe that they will realize, wow, what they taught me was true. I do. That's how I personally feel about it. I have heard even pastors say that's not necessarily a direct promise. It sounds like one to me. And you know, I've heard people say, well, but Beth, you know, you've even heard of people who fall away. And I'm like, yes, but that's not the end of the story. And I believe that they will come back. And it may even be a much later date. But I often believe it usually happens around in their 30s when they go, they were right. My hair looks awful. I haven't even done it. Anyway, why was I bringing that up? I guess because I said something in a kind of a style he would. Can't talk during the Cupid's bow time. I can tell I'm getting low on product because this isn't doing this usually. I had to get it. It usually does. I have the weirdest dream. I had a dream that I was helping Kendall Jenner with her anxiety. Yeah, it's Kendall. She has anxiety disorder, or panic attacks, I should say. It wouldn't surprise me. The industry she's in is quite cruel. And, especially beauty, we all know we're very judgmental. That should not be. We should lift each other up. Matter of fact, when I see someone being critical and judgmental, or when I do it myself, I find it as a point of immaturity. Now, that's not to say, when I say judgmental, I mean judgmental about frivolous things, not important things. And when it comes to the faith, and certainly within the faith, to other Christians, there is a time for accountability, and you need to do that. And it may sound like judgment. It's not. It's a reminder. It is one Christian saying to another, the way you're living is not lining up, and it matters. It matters to non-believers watching us, and it matters to your life because you say that you're following Christ, and I want to help you. It should always be done with a spirit of love. Okay, for some reason I'm doing things in a very awkward order here. Really weird. I'm going to use one that I have not used in a while. This is the Ambient palette from Hourglass, and it's a face palette. And I am going to use, first of all, this color right here. It looks like it's supposed to be a grape, but I guess because of that tone in it, to me it is a good contour color. But it has a bit of a red, like, grape tone to it. And so it can easily be a blush as well. So you can, this is one of those that you don't need to add both contour and blush. You can use the blush because the tone of it is dark enough, or of the shade for me anyway, that it could be my contour color. Now, because I have a little chipmunk cheeks right here, I bring that on down. Some people don't do that. They stay back here, which stay back here and above this white area is important to lift your cheeks up. But I usually bring it in some. Bring it in, and then I'm going to round out at the temples and go across and round out at the temples and come down. People call it the 3 because you're going to go under there too. And I am. I go back and forth under the chin like that, or sometimes it's almost like a U, because it gets this little jowl and this little jowl, and it just gets this under area. It just kind of gives us shading, and then I come back up, but make sure you always blend down. You don't just want a line right there. You want to blend it down. And all this is doing is creating a shadow feature here, and it just kind of helps. It just kind of helps hide the fatty. And I'm now going to brush across these two colors and smile and just kind of do that area. I've been very burpy lately. I think because I'm trying to talk. right after I had coffee. Push out. Push air out your nose when you contour underneath your nose, so it doesn't go up your nose. And all it does again is create a shadow under here, so it shortens the nose for those of us who have quite a long schnoz. Because I don't like the technique. I do like this, by the way. I don't like the technique of lining either side all the way down, just because I get bulbous right here, and that line would have to, like, it would just make this even look worse, I think. Just blending that same color in a little bit. And now I decided just to pull a palette. So, again, we're pulling old palettes that I don't use anymore. And this is the Morphe palette, and it is the 350, which is, I'll show you, kind of like warm brown tones. I would even call it a brown palette. Hello, could you get any more perfect for trying to get all the brown shades? I don't know, just even the way it smells, I don't know that it's a high quality thing. That's really weird. Oh, that's right. I'm used to being in my dressing area, and there is my E. I think it's 35. So I'm going to use instead to put on a brush, a color. Let's see which one. I'm going to go with this white. Actually, it's this top and this second one down. These two. Very bad fallout. No mirror. So I'm just going to go under the brow very slowly, and then I'm just going to go all the way down. I'm just doing a wash of color, and especially in this inner. And it's just basically neutralizing the palette of your eye. There we go. So that you just have a nice, clean, even slate to